how this firm changed. Because if you are really successful, you would actually take a small enterprise to medium level and from medium to a large enterprise in 2 years. But if you do 10 with 10 of those, I shudder to think about what will happen to the anyone who dares to make them really move up the ladder. So that's the fundamental. So if we have to support the SMEs, let's get out from our mind this criminal association with anyone getting rich.
You've pointed out some of the areas that SMEDA is working on, and one of the specifics that you mentioned, that we need to identify which sectors, which products, which market, which part of China. So we pride ourselves as a research-based organization. We've done a study, complete study, where high-value exports, medium-value exports and low-value exports have been identified based on the research that was done. And taking into account the static elements, which is the information asymmetry as well as the NTMs, we've come up with a plan where SMEDA will now be working on, again with the SMEs, how to, again I would want to use that word, but I hope you allow me the opportunity and the untapped potential that exists. So we need to be very specific.
We have done around 12 such studies of a specific industry. I talked about just one marble. So I think that's what we need to do. So SMEDA can work with certain universities and can actually give them a particular segment or a particular part of that industry. How do we take it from X level to Y level in say 2 years? So with that kind of an output, and we can also take a sample of say 10 organizations and help develop them. So rather than talking about doing those general type of research, if we focus that on particular, I think we will have a better.
Definitely, sir. Mr. Robin, thank you very much for joining us all the way from China. You heard some of the speakers who shared their views on CPEC and SMEs. So we would like to hear the other side of the story from you.
Good morning. Good morning, distinguished leaders, guests, and friends. And I'm Robin from a Chinese organization named Sinalingua. We have a brand called Chinese Fund, which is focusing on language and cultural exchange. First of all, thank UMT and SMEDA for inviting me to this wonderful annual conference to exchange ideas and perspectives. And because this conference is about small and medium enterprises, so let's call it SMEs. It's like a person's name, right? So first, let's see the SMEs in China. Okay, and the SMEs play a very important role in China as well as in Pakistan. In the last 40 years of reform and opening up in China, SMEs contribute to 50% to tax revenue and 60% to GDP, and also provide 80% of urban jobs and accommodate 90% of new jobs. Besides that, SMEs also has a very important role in technological innovation. During the reform and opening up in China, 70% of invention patents and 75% of technological innovations and 80% of new products in China have been completed by SMEs. And that's a wonderful remarks. But because due to the small scales of the enterprises, SMEs are facing more difficulties and problems than large enterprises, mainly in three aspects. The first one is the low ability to resist risks, and the second one is the weak ability to acquire market resources, and the third one is the weak ability to get a good position in the market competition. But we're happy to see that Chinese government has been supporting SIMS and will continue to support SIMS in many ways, and to provide more spaces for SIMS, including the innovation and the entrepreneurship, and provide more support at the institutional level or market access policies. And because I find another keyword of today's conference is called opportunity. And CPEC obviously brings more opportunities to all SMEs, but SMEs also need to be empowered to better take part in CPEC. In another word, all participants, I think, should be well prepared and maybe get the skill and capacity built up or improved. We all know that the exchanges between two countries lies in the closeness of the people, and so in that point of view, we think CPEC is not only economic and a trade corridor, but also a cultural corridor. Okay, let me give you an example. First, we have to admit there are differences in business style between China and Pakistan. And to bridge the gap, I suggest, in this case, maybe three ways. The first one is learning Chinese language. And the second one, probably be understanding Chinese business culture. And the third one is to expanding the cultural exchanges. So I suggest us SMEs of Pakistan maybe pay more attention on the human resources constructions. And also, I sincerely invite all the SMEs of Pakistan to go to China to visit or to go to the Chinese enterprises, which is a better way to understand China. Okay, finally, I would like to say we're willing to do anything to bridge, to build up the bridge between our two great nations, and we'll do everything to empower SMEs with language and cultural exchange. Thank you.
I think you stressed upon a very important area, which is the human resource development. And my next question to Dr. Hassan would be related to that area. Dr. Saab, within the CPEC Center of Excellence, you are heading research activities there. So, from news sources that we've heard that, which is again misconception, which we would also like to clarify. Of all the labor that has been employed within the first phase of CPEC, we heard that only 10,000 labor has been working from the Chinese side, while 70,000, if I'm not wrong, is the Pakistani labor force which has been engaged in this project, the first few activities that we've seen. So, what kind of research and what areas are you now looking at so that this trend continues, and we also heard that we might have missed a boat where SMEs have not contributed, but this is a definite area where Pakistan has been involved and will continue to be involved. So HR capacity building and the labor force productivity area that needs to be focused on. So any views on that? दोबारा एक पर कर सकें.
Thank you giving me the opportunity. Basically, Hassan Daud Sahab was supposed to be there, but yesterday I was called to participate in this forum. Basically, when we look at the CPAC, I know the wording of Dr. Sahab, that we must first focus on very specific issues and specific sectors. That's why basically in CPAC we have different divisions which are working on various thematic areas. I am working in trade and industry cooperation. There is one is related to socio-economic impact of CPAC. Another one is financial sector integration. One of our themes is related with urban development, and one is related with human resource development. So basically, one of our colleagues has worked on some of the projects of the CPAC, like the 5-on-4 project. They have basically conducted the arrangements that mostly the Pakistani are working these projects. I don't know the exact number because I not memorize. Basically, like when we see the other projects which are going on the CPAC, when we see the CPAC is basically divided into three phases. One is basically early harvest or short term. Second one are the medium term, and last one is the long term project. So in short term, early harvest, there are projects on energy and in infrastructure like the road network. So there is one study which is basically under process. It is related with a road project in the KPK region, especially the road project. And another study basically we have taken the data from NHA on the various projects, because the NHA is basically dealing with the road infrastructure. So basically the important issue is that whether we are getting the job, Pakistani and mostly the locals are getting the jobs. When we look at, especially when we look at the third project, so even you will see that the women are driving the trucks over there. So basically they are providing the opportunity with this project. But the important issue is that whether we are getting the more white collar jobs or blue collar. The important thing is to develop the capacity, and we have to focus on the demand driven approach in all aspects. Basically, the university, the technical or vocational institutes must focus on the demand-driven, basically, skills which are required for the certain industry. So, our center is basically assigned a project which we have signed with GDC. Basically, this project is basically to conduct a study on the various projects and see what are basically the job profiles and what are the prospects and the human resource requirements. So basically, we are also engaged with the data and institute. So this is basically all about our HR. So one thing I should say that we have conducted two studies regarding the trade. So we focus on, like Dr. has said, that we are focusing on the specific products where we have the footprint. Like we have see the cereals and our agricultural products which we are exporting to China, and we have seen that how the tariff and non-tariff barriers we are facing. So basically we have seen that we have basically not equally treated with other free trade partners of China, like Thailand or the ASEAN countries. So there are which is making us non-competitive in terms of tariff barriers. And we have also conducted studies on the non-tariff barriers, and we mostly focus on psycho and phytosanitary measures and the EDD measures. So basically, we have seen that in terms of livestock or the meat sector, we are facing highly stringent measures from China, like on STS. So we have basically last day we were conducting basically a certain what we have seen that the correlation between the STS, basically initiated by China, and our wheat product, we have got that the correlation coefficient was minus 0.7, and it is very negative and very high, which is showing that we have to focus on our quality standards and we have to work on that. We have to go the sector specific and we have to go the particular industry like engineering. There is potential of China, relocation of Chinese industry in Pakistan. We have the footprint in our golden triangle like Uttarakhand and Sharpur. And this is another sector and another study is we are conducting on these trends. So basically, these are few researches we are working on, and after the completion of that we will share.
So, anything add to that?
Okay, so many questions were raised about CK. It was criticized. Okay, I can't answer all of the questions because I don't remember all the questions, but I will try to answer one of many of them. First of all, about the slogan, because the opportunities aren't there. Definitely, it bothers one because there are slogans in no one, so definitely hard. Regarding the slogan, I will say that it's important also. Why? Because slogan basically push the initiative forward. For example, in Malaysia, basically they have the Malaysia, the True Asia, Incredible India, Emerging Pakistan, things like that. The government, they basically, the government or any company, what they do, they design such slogans to push the initiative forward. So that was for that purpose also. About the work, basically specific things, I just mentioned some of the successes we have so far regarding the industry, because the initial phase, like I told you about the first phase was early harvest projects. So it was basically to remove the bottlenecks. So infrastructure we had an issue, we had energy issue, we have the road and infrastructure issue. So that was mostly removed. In the second phase, it's basically about industrialization and definitely working on the industrialization phase. And so many successes, just to mention a few, about the Russia economic zone, basically the agreement has been signed between China and Pakistan and they are going to develop it now. I think recently, a week or two before, the agreement was signed. So nothing on the ground, I do agree, but the agreement was signed, it's still a success. The second thing about if you've been to the M3, Faisalabad, so many industries have been there. I've been educated there about the Renault in France, French company, Renault, some people call it, or Renault. They are there with Nishad, the Coca-Cola, Chinese chemical plants. They are already, they have not yet started, working there. They are not operational yet, but they are basically establishing there. So if I would, suggest you to go and visit M3 Faisalabad also, you will see some of the progress over there. About the preparation, one of my colleagues talked about the preparation. We are not yet prepared. Definitely, the government in its limited capacity is doing its job. We have definitely institutional issues, capacity issues, but we are still working on it. For example, about the readiness in our center, and especially in the Ministry of Economic Development and Reform, what we do, we have visited almost all Chamber of Commerces in the last 1.5 years. Okay, and we invite them, we tell them to be prepared for the industrialization, because the Chinese or other companies definitely they will come, but you should be prepared for this. In the beginning, they were perceived threat because the SMEs in Pakistan, they think that if the Chinese companies with their economy of scale, technology scale, finances, if they come, they will wipe them out. They are afraid of that, definitely. But now what I see, and this is a positive thing, in the last few months, I have observed that the Chamber of Commerce, the SMEDA, the enterprises, they are now thinking about the joint, they are preparing for this. So this is a positive. So this is basically a paradigm shift. Before they were afraid, now they are not afraid of that. Some of them, they are welcoming now. Even I have seen myself, I will introduce some of the entrepreneurs and some of the industrialists, and they are thinking to find some joint venture. So we are working also on that. About the specific products, I just share with you these are basically product line that is. And what we do, we are working extensively on the global the JVC, normally how can we integrate in the global JVC and JVCs. Why? Because why is it important? Because we have some footprints in Pakistan in certain specific sectors, and we have the capacity to be part of the global region, but we also other issues, for example, marketing issues. And that is one of the reasons we are not part of the GVC. We mostly, the SMEs in Pakistan, they prepare for global market. So we are working, how can we integrate them, all SMEs? I'll basically answer your question also, whether we work beyond SMEs or not. Definitely we are working. We identify specific products, like the Exxon mentioned about the meat industry, the livestock, meat and halal meat, we have focused on it. We have worked on the marble. Now we have, I think it's more than 600 product lines. Even more than that, we have just put the 90% time. So we haven't identified those product lines. We are now assessing where we have a footprint, how can we integrate, how can we put them into the global value chain. So the government is already working on it. Now it's not only the responsibility of the government to actively work on it, it's also the responsibility of the SMEDA. If you are basically feeling a threat, this is a globalization. Definitely we need some policies, we need some strategies to protect our industry also, but only those industries we need to protect which are young, not yet experienced industry, not everyone out there. Because what happens then, the industry basically, they take the incentives, they go for the rent seeking, and and don't go into the competition with the foreign enterprises. So the government role is to protect industry, but at the same time, it's also the responsibility of the industrialists, the Chamber of Commerce, the Pakistani, the local industries, to also prepare for such a huge, the change which is we are expecting.
You see, whenever special economic zones, SEZs, or the one Faisalabad that you talked about. So how many small enterprises got a plot over there?
I don't know exactly the number.
So how many, of course, if they will, the problem is that we are not willing to give them even 5 yards, the small enterprise. And for the others, we are willing to give them 50 acres, the big enterprises. So if we are really, you see, these small enterprises are the backbone. We just heard 40% of our GDP is coming through small and medium enterprises. So how many small enterprises got? So so whenever we talk about chambers of commerce, we are talking about big businesses. We are not talking about the SMEs. So probably SMEDA should think about a small enterprise chamber of commerce and a small enterprise economic zone or a small enterprise markets, so that